What's up, YouTube? I have no idea what I'm gonna say. I like making videos for myself to look back on, see progress, things that worked, things that didn't work. So today we had practice last night, Thursday nights, and I've been arm wrestling for about 1.5 years now, and when I started, my wrist was just getting broke back every single week. Couldn't keep my wrist integrity at all. So that's what I've been focusing on a lot. Done a lot of different workouts, methods, trying to strengthen it. And even now I can tell against a lot of people that I arm wrestle frequently that my wrist has gotten a lot better, a lot stronger. But it's still, on guys that are stronger, it's still my Achilles heel. So today, even though I had some good battles last night, good arm wrestling workout, I'm used to working out every day. So I'm gonna not go for a 1 rep max necessarily, but I'm still planning on going as heavy as I can, comfortably. Mainly, I'm going to be working on my hand, my wrist. That containment is so important for me to have at least neutral, really 1 or 2 degrees past neutral, to be able to access my side pressure. I know some guys are able to do it even with their wrist cricked back. They can still drive, but I haven't figured out how to do that. I need my wrist. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. There's 2 things that I've started doing that I feel like has helped the most with my wrist. The first one is this. It's called the Top Roll Eliminator from Arm Assassin Strength Shop. It's amazing. I mean, people use things similar to this all the time, right? There's tons of different handles. I mean, some people even use just a block of wood, anything that keeps your fingers straight, you know. So this, I feel like, does a great job working that finger strength, because even if you can hold somebody with your wrist, sometimes your fingers fail, right? So it's kind of 2 parts that I work on, is my fingers and then the wrist itself. So right now I'm just doing some warm-up sets, just holding it for a couple seconds. I'll drop down another 10 pounds, do the same for both arms. Really like this handle. It puts all the pressure on my fingertips. Now the other handle I've been using, I just got it like maybe a week ago now. It's just a wrist wrench, standard wrist wrench, again from Arm Assassin Strength Shop. This is the 2-inch with the grip on here, and also the 3 holes on the end instead of just a carabiner. And the reason is you can really work your pronation and supination by putting it on one of the outside holes. Right now I have it just in the middle, so it's even. But I have found that this just feels the best. It feels the closest to the pressures that I feel when I'm on the table with somebody, rolling my hand open. I normally don't do wrist curls from this angle, directly from the side, but I think I'm going to start doing it because I can also feel my side pressure being, you know, strained a bit, which I like, and it's not just pulling straight down, because I feel like my back pressure is definitely ahead of my side pressure, so I need to work more on my side pressure. But it's also great for inside game. One of the guys that arm wrestles every week where I practice is mainly just a hook puller, likes to start in the hook, so I've had to adjust and learn how to pull in the hook a lot better. And I feel like this does a great job because it's working your cupping while it's putting the pressure on your inner elbow which is where the pressure is going to be when you're in a deep hook with somebody, right? This is still not heavy weight. Most things I'll do with both hands, but I do care more about my right hand than my left. So while I'll usually do the same workouts with my left hand, if it's super inconvenient to change a huge setup, then I'll just do it with my right and give my left a break. So even like with this setup, I'm not gonna flip around my entire table just to do it. So I might just, you know, do it off the table a little bit. I'm not too worried about my left arm. I still compete left, and at practice I'll still pull just as much left as I do right. I try to pull more right, but you know, when you have a big battle, sometimes you just need a break. So it's probably close to 50-50 pulling right and left, but I care more about my right. My right has made substantially more gains than my left has, that's for sure. So we'll drop these weights down. Still feel like I'm about as novice as they come. Arm wrestling technique takes so long. It's not hard to understand the mechanics and the physics behind it, but actually putting that into play, it's knowing all the little adjustments of how to maximize your strengths on the table. And even something as simple as pronation, right, which is just turning your hand away from you. It's knowing how to do that on the table. Because if you get somebody that's, you know, pretty close to you in strength, you're not going to be able to just turn them over, you know, straight pronation. So it's knowing how to use it just to keep neutral and not get supinated. There's a lot of things of knowing, like when to pull your elbow back, when to push forward, how to regrip, when to regrip. There's so many things to think about. And I'm making progress, but it's never as much nor as quickly as you'd like, right? It's always freaking slow. So this isn't a lot of weight. This is only 70 pounds, but it's on a pulley, so it's really like 35-40 pounds. Not a ton of pressure, but again, just working up. For someone like me, I'm 34. I've only been in arm wrestling for a year and a half. Whoa. Gotta be lighter on letting that weight back. I can't really afford to be delusional about how far I can make it in this sport, right? You can't get upset if you're not winning competitions. You know, a year and a half in, and I have no idea how prevalent steroids and stuff like that is in the sport on a local level, state level, you know. And I don't really know what difference it makes. People wouldn't use them if they weren't worth it, right? But it's not something I've ever touched, not something I'm ever willing to touch. So yeah, I'm just hoping to, in the next couple of years, maybe I can be competitive at a state level, and if that's ever the highest I can ever go, I'm happy with that, because this is, while I'm super passionate about it, it is just a hobby, right? Not expecting to ever be competitive at a level above local. So doesn't mean I'm gonna not shoot higher, right? Doesn't mean I'm gonna stop lifting or try and push the envelope constantly, but don't know what kind of progress and how far I could really make it at this point. love it though. Love arm wrestling. This is the funnest hobby that I've ever had, and 100% I will be doing this until the day that I die. Doesn't matter how soon that is. Doesn't matter ultimately how long I get out in the sport. Until I die, I will be arm wrestling. Looks like that's still not low enough. So still warming up wrists and fingers, but we'll see. Maybe I'll make a jump. See how 90 feels. So this is probably 45, 50 pounds. I love practicing doing all my workouts as much as possible on a table. So then you know you're hitting at least, even if it's not exactly the same, you know, as a person, obviously, because they have dynamic movements. But at least I can get my body angles the same. Man, I don't know how my phone hasn't shattered yet. At least I can get. I think that video might be upside down now. Whatever. At least working out on the table, I can put my body in the same position, even if it's not a dynamic, you know, workout that'll be pulling me from lots of different directions quickly. It's only one direction. At least I'm set up the same way as I would be competing on a table. So I love being able to work out on an arm wrestling table. Don't take any advice from me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. And that release on my left arm is painful compared to my right. No idea why that is. I like doing static holds for side pressure with this. Feels good on my elbow. Even if it's medium heavy, it's not super heavy. You can move it pretty easy, but it's like, I don't know, 7 plates, that's 70 pounds, but it's a pulley, so just over half that probably. Feels like a good way to warm it up, I feel like. Bring that down 2 notches. The other workout that I feel like has made the biggest difference for me in progress on the table at practice, you know, when you're able to arm wrestle the same guys every week for months and year and a half now for me, you get to even though you're both progressing, you're likely progressing similar to the same speed, you know? So you're able to see progress that you're making when you're able to hold them better, you know, with your containment. You're not getting broken open. You know you're making progress on your wrist. But one for me that I've noticed a lot is rising, is holding that, you know, holding the hand high with back pressure and keeping it instead of dumping it because your hand can't keep up. A lot of people have told me they just notice a difference. It's not like I'm, you know, strong by most standards with rising, but when your riser starts getting stronger and you're able to keep it when you apply back pressure and it causes their hand to dump, it's a big difference. So at the end of this workout, that's what I'm going to do. So I have this pulley system that I bought with the table, right? So it's just a standard pulley on a loading pin down there. I don't have the weight on it just because it's too close to the machine right now. But one thing about me is I don't, win by any means, right? I'm not a big fan of that. I want to win how I want to win. I want to win how I like to pull. I don't want to have to go to like a flop or a press or something just to get the final win. If I'm top rolling, I want to be able to top roll to the pad. So for me, like pronation, I've come to realize how important pronation is for the way I pull, right? And it's not about turning my hand so much, it's keeping neutral from the start and not getting opened up. So I'll do a lot of static pronation, especially with this pulley, right? This is like a really good setup for me. Just straight back pressure with pronation and not getting opened, and see how much weight, the more weight that I can pull like this without getting opened, it translates pretty well to the table. So one thing I've started to do is, when you put it around your thumb like this, you can move this part over the knuckle. So now when you're pulling, it's not only pulling your pronation the same, but now since it's over the knuckle right here, if you focus on your knuckle and pull through your knuckle, you're also getting riser workout out of it. So it's a riser and pronation engaged back pressure lat drag. So it doesn't, in my opinion, I could be wrong, but in my opinion, it doesn't matter. You see a lot of guys pull like this, but you're not getting any pronation, you're not getting any rise really. I mean, you get a little bit just because it is above the joint, but it's on the thick of the hand right there, right? So you're not getting a lot of that. So it doesn't matter if I can pull, if I could pull as strong as Hermes, like 200 pounds of pressure back like this, right? If my hand's just gonna dump when I pull, I'm not gonna have anything, and I'm just gonna get turned over. So I'm lowering the weight, and I'm not doing a lot of like 1 rep maxes of straight back pressure, because I want my pronation and rise to be, increasing with my back pressure, because my arm, my hand and my wrist are behind my arm. So if I pull with everything I have on a lat drag, my hand's gonna dump. So I'm doing a lot of training with pronation and riser engaged, back pressure and lat drags and stuff, just training my hand not to dump. So I'll end my workout with that. But I really need my fingers. Let's see. I'm gonna drop down 2 more pounds, make it even 100. So this is like 55, 60 pounds, something in there, I think. I actually have bought one of these things so you can actually see the exact pressure, right, that you're pulling. So if I set this up, and this isn't the one where the number will stay on there. It only reads it while it's active. Unfortunately, I should have bought a better one. But, so I won't be able to show you. You'll just have to trust me, but why would I lie? No one's going to see this video. So in pounds, 54, 56. So it's like 55 pounds of pressure. It's like just over 50% of the weight. It's like 55% is what you're actually pulling of the weight you have on the stack. Alright. Now some people will pull it down till you're on the pad and then let it go. Just fine. I like pulling it from the top because it replicates a lat drag, right? phone. It's gonna shatter one of these times. So yeah, I do also like doing Devin Larratt's riser. I was doing it over my knuckle like he did it, right? And that felt good for a while. But now, don't know why, but it's just gotten painful. So I've switched it to now just be over the middle of my fingers, in between the knuckles right here. And that's actually feeling a lot better. So after my finger and wrist workouts, I'll go to riser, pronation. I like doing the static pronation, Devin Larratt's static pronation off the ground. I feel like that's a good it's a good way to mark progress. Even if you don't think it's a direct translation to the table, it's fine. It's your pronator getting stronger, and it's weight that you can see progression at. So your pronator is getting stronger, which will translate to the table, maybe not directly, but if you get stronger anywhere, you're going to be stronger on the table. So yeah, that's going to be today's workout. So again, I am not one to take advice from when it comes to arm wrestling. There are 1,000 people on YouTube that understand the sport a lot better, but this is what I'm doing, and this is what I've seen has helped me a lot on the table. So have a good one.